For the full article on today's video, be sure to check out pixelade.info. Hey guys, what's up? It's Pixelade here, and welcome back to another Sims 4 news and info video. This will most likely be the longest news and info video to ever hit my channel, so without further ado, we are going to jump into the tweets that I've gathered from Sim Guru Grant. Over the weekend, he's hosted many very large Q&A sessions, and I've gathered over 65 tweets from Sim Guru Grant that I will be including in this video. Most of them are important or involve new content or new gameplay that could be coming to the game. Our first out of many tweets comes from Simlish Sarah. She tweets, "I was wondering if you guys plan on adding more dishes to the game. I am one of those weirdos who loves watching their Sims cook and learning new recipes. And let's be honest, as an Austrian, I must say the schnitzel is definitely something missing in this overall awesome game." Grant responded, "Yes, we always add some, but they are expensive and the menus get cluttered." And Grant returns tweeting, basically they don't add much value as they cost. And a lot of people may not understand this, but if you really think about it, when they put an object, a feature, or some type of gameplay aspect into the game, it costs the company money to create, because to create things, you need resources, you need people, you need time. So the company has to pay for those things. Now, if it was a bigger feature, let's say cars or having an open world, which we will probably never get, then that of course would have a lot of value. A lot of players want that, so it's worth the cost, to make those things. So we most likely won't be getting many more recipes added to the game. We could get a few here and there, but probably not anything big like we did with the base game, of course. The next tweet comes from Becton. They tweet at Sim Guru Grant, "Will we ever have a fame and fortune pack for The Sims 4 like the Sims 1 Superstar? And I cannot express how much I really want this for the game. I just want to have the ability to actually have a Sim get famous and, record music, sell records, go on tour. Just like something like that, like a Superstar pack would be so fun to have." He responds, "I can't discuss potential future content, but of course, put down in the comments if this is something that you guys want to see in the game. I've always wanted this in The Sims 4, and now that we're getting kind of towards the end of The Sims 4's, era, as you could say, I feel like a pack like this is more likely now. A lot of the most requested packs for a Sims game are pets, seasons, and university, and I feel like we're about to get university, and we already have cats and dogs and seasons, so I feel like getting this type of pack is more likely now, so hopefully we end up seeing it soon." Our next question on Twitter comes from Izzy. Izzy tweeted, "Yeah, I don't think adding mental issues into the game is the best idea. People would easily abuse them, and it's also complicated figuring how to treat them, what severity they have, and how it's diagnosed, and so much more." Sim Guru Grant quoted that tweet and responded with, "I don't like this approach. Our game is about stories, seeing yourself reflected. I'd like to think we can be there for folks. It isn't easy, but I think it is worth asking the hard questions, right?" Izzy responds, tweeting, "I understand, but there is so much that goes on within mental illness that so many people have different cases of the same disease. It would be tough to approach, plus you wouldn't want to exclude anyone's story," which I completely agree with. "I would just hate to see this be abused or joked about by people who may not get it." And I honestly really understand that. That makes a lot of sense. Grant responded, "It is so tough, but it's nice to know that the Sims team is thinking about it and trying to come up with a way of how this should be incorporated into the game. And if it is a feature that's added, hopefully it's an opt-in feature, meaning that you don't have to play with it. For those that want to play this to escape their mental or physical disability, then they can have the option to either turn it off or turn it on. I feel like that's the best and the safest option for players." Rachel Marie on Twitter tweets Sim Guru Grant, "What do you think about Sims with mental health issues like doubts of depression, bipolar, GAD, or learning difficulties like autism as traits?" Grant responds, "I think it is inappropriate as traits. Saying bipolar is the same as loves the outdoors feels wrong, but allowing for these somehow is something we want to figure out." And I completely get what he's saying. Amanda responds to Grant tweeting, "Yes, thank you, Sim Guru Grant. I am so glad they won't just be traits. As someone who has to try and live with a lot of these mental health issues, I'm glad they won't just be personality quirks." Grant responds to Amanda with, "We have to recognize, appreciate, and work to break down the stigma of mental health," which is very important. I'm glad he said that. And I do agree with Amanda on this one. Adding mental or physical disabilities as traits just doesn't fit. It seems kind of demeaning in a way. Glenn Day Oz on Twitter tweeted at SimGuruGrant, "Sir, you did not reply to my question, which was about when we have magic in our Sims, so as soon as you could, I wish some clue or some date when that shall arrive. Thank you, sir." And SimGuruGrant responds, "Sir, I can't discuss potential future content." I've pretty much accepted at this point that this is going to be Grant's response for pretty much every single question that has to do with features that could potentially come to the game, only because he has to respond like this. He's not allowed to tell us, hints and clues and stuff. He would lose his job, so I completely understand that, but just imagine having magic in our games. Oh my god, The Sims making magic. Let's bring that back to The Sims 4, please and thank you. Peter on Twitter tweeted SimGuruGrant, "The only thing I have about this is maybe someone with depression or anxiety wouldn't want it in their game, as they use The Sims was a form of escapism and relaxation rather than mimicking their real life," which is something that I did discuss earlier and also in a previous video. And both sides are completely valid. I see both sides, I completely get both sides, and I support both sides. That's why I feel like having it as an opt-in is the best option. In Grant response to this tweet, I think we would treat it as an opt-in. Folks keep asking for this, and some of the most popular mods are traits that do this. It is tough. I honestly really hope they add it to the game and have it as an opt-in feature, so that, Simmers that don't want to play with it don't have to, and the ones that do, that want to tell specific stories, can. That's what this game is all about, is storytelling. So having the option to tell stories without mental or physical disabilities would make things so much better for those that don't want to. Our next tweet comes from AJ asking about counters, kid, and toddler beds. SimGuruGrant responded tweeting, "One counter is actually 11 assets, which means if we do a counter, you lose 10 other things. It's tough." Simmer Abby responds questioning, "Wait, what? Why? How? What's an asset and why does it cost so much?" A big thank you to Lega Simmer for breaking down the process. She tweets, "Each counter has 10 variations. Corner, counter, inside, outside, plane counter, end counter, left and right, and then people are gonna want the matching island and cabinets, which require as many. So for Simmers that want a new kitchen set and new counters, it takes a lot more work and a lot more effort than you think to make these, because they have to make every single counter piece, and there's so many different kinds. So our chances of getting a new kitchen set, new counters is probably really, really low, due to it requiring for them to have more resources to make them." Alexander on Twitter expresses his need for giraffes in the game. Grant responds, "I'm going to say no," and Rachel responds to Grant tweeting, "More African pets, please," listing lions and monkeys as examples. Imagine if you could have your own zoo in The Sims 4 and be able to have these animals. That would be such an awesome game pack idea. Hopefully we end up getting something like that in the future. Mackenzie on Twitter tweets, "If you could make an expansion for The Sims 4 based off an expansion in the previous titles, what would it be?" And Grant responds, "This form of question is asking me for future content, which I cannot answer." And Mackenzie really tried to pull a quick one just to try to squeeze a little bit of info out of Grant to see what we could possibly be getting, but it looks like he's not going to slip up this time. Like I said literally 10 seconds ago, I would probably want either Making Magic or Superstar to make a big return into The Sims 4. Enbo on Twitter tweeted SimGuruGrant, "Is it possible to edit the school system so that jobs have grade requirements?" And Grant responded, "Not planned right now, but maybe one day." I really like that response. It kind of gives me hope. That's one thing that I've really wanted, is a more detailed school system in The Sims 4. Just not having an actual school building that your Sims could travel to kind of hurt. So if they updated the school system with new grade requirements, that would be pretty awesome, actually. Jasmine Lopez on Twitter tweeted SimGuruGrant, "To piggyback on this, any chance we can specify our Sims culture or have a way to do this? Like if my Sim is from Salvadorada, she'll automatically kiss people on the cheek." Grant responds with, "Great idea." Honestly, I can totally see something like this being implemented into the Sims game. The Sims team always talks about how they want to add more diverse cultures into the game. Instead of just adding the cultures, the clothing styles and the objects and build by and all of that stuff, I feel like they also need to have interactions that kind of go along with those cultures. So having your Sims kiss other Sims on the cheek would really fit in certain cultures. Oh My Blob on Twitter tweeted at SimGuruGrant, one thing I loved on The Sims 3 was the newspapers showing real-time news about events and stuff going on in the world. Any chance they'll come back to The Sims 4? First of all, loving that username. Second of all, I would love to see this return. Grant responds, probably not, sorta us recognizing the changing world. As much as I understand that, I always felt like The Sims hasn't been like the real world. The Sims has been The Sims. What if in The Sims world, newspapers never, get old and things don't move digital? I would still love to have newspapers in The Sims 4. That was actually really nice being able to get that every day and read about some of the things happening in the world. That was so cool. But a feature like this can always be added into the game via the modding community, so it's okay if we never get it from EA. Sarah Robinson on Twitter tweeted SimGuruGrant, if you could have any artists perform in Simlish, who would it be? And Grant responds, Queens of the Stone Age. Great answer, Grant. If I could choose what artists I want to hear in the game, you guys already know what I would say. I know a lot of you guys would know because you guys already know who I stan. I would want to hear Lady Gaga record her album Joanne in Simlish. I want to hear those raw vocals in the game. And I would also love if Lana Del Rey, Tuvlo, and Borns recorded for The Sims 4. That would be amazing. Also, Lady Gaga's new movie, A Star is Born, is coming out October 5th. I gotta get that promo in there, but I would love if she recorded the soundtrack and had that put in the game as well. That would be so cool. Angelica on Twitter tweeted SimGuruGrant, love the music from the original The Sims, particularly for buy and build mode. Any way you could squeeze some of it into the current version. He responds, music we ourselves didn't make is always wrapped up in complex licensing. So most of the older Sims music is definitely not coming to the newer games, due to what I expected, licensing and copyright issues. But honestly, I feel like if they remade them to kind of sound different, it could be passable, but even that probably won't even happen, so don't get your hopes up, guys. Brobastai on Twitter tweeted SimGuruGrant, how long do we have to wait for awesome new content? I can't wait, too much excitement. Grant responds, years, weeks, months, who knows? I know. This is why I love Grant, because his responses are just so vague yet so funny and awesome. Of course, he's not going to be able to tell us. He's contracted, he wants to keep his job, he wants to continue being paid, and I can expect that. But I'm hoping Q4 this year we get another game pack or stuff pack, maybe even an expansion, who knows. The Sims team's been really quiet lately and they've been working really hard, so who knows what they have up their sleeve. We could probably get an expansion or a game pack in Q4 this year. For those of you that don't know what Q4 is, it's the last quarter of the year, which is in the holiday season, the busiest time of year, especially in America. Sarah Robinson on Twitter tweeted SimGuruGrant, even though ideas can't be submitted to you guys, do you still look at the forum/community feedback for possibilities of what's wanted? And without even looking at the answer, this is definitely a yes. He's, on Twitter answering questions from other Simmers, so even though it's not on the forums, he's always looking for feedback on social media. He responds, we do. I do know that he is active on the forums, but he is just as active on Twitter as well. So for Simmers that have ideas of what you guys want added to the game, make sure you tweet him, make him aware of it. Even though he's probably going to respond with, I can't talk about future content at this time, just making him aware of it and having every Simmer out there making him aware of something will really give him the idea of, oh wow, these people really want this feature or this object or this gameplay aspect in the game, we should think about creating it. And this is probably where disabilities comes from. He probably got a lot of requests, a lot of Simmers tweeting him or messaging him in the forums, on Twitter, talking about disabilities, and this is why he's potentially considering it. So if there's something that you really want to see in the game, make sure you make him aware of it, and the more people that are making him aware of it will definitely raise the chances of him considering it. Considering he's the senior producer on The Sims, he most likely has a lot of power and dictates what comes into the game. This next one is so important for me. Banana Peel on Twitter tweeted SimGuruGrant, what's something you miss from The Sims 3? And he responds, body hair. Grant, please, if you're watching this video, please bring body hair back into The Sims 4. That was such an amazing feature in The Sims 3. My male Sims looked so amazing with body hair, and oh my god, they looked sexy too. Let's not even go there. But having a feature like that back in the game would really help simmers tell more detailed stories. I could say that about anything, but having body hair, it seriously makes the game, especially for the males. And if we ever get werewolves in the future, hopefully we end up getting the body hair back as well, because that's an important part to werewolves. If I remember correctly, we got body hair in The Sims 3 around the time Supernatural was released. So if we ever get a Supernatural type pack for The Sims 4, I can expect body hair to make a big return around that time. We'll just have to wait and see though. Hopefully we get it. So I've decided about 20% into editing this video that I'm going to divide this video into either 4 or 5 parts. So this will conclude the very first part of this Q&A session. So thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to give this video a huge thumbs up and add it to your favorites. Don't forget to subscribe to become a Pixelator today, and to ding the little bell next to the subscribe button to be notified whenever I upload any type of new video. I love you guys so much. Follow me on social media. That includes Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, Google+, Twitch, and much more. And I will see you in part 2. I love you guys, and I'll see you later. I said I love you guys like a million times. Bye. I love you guys.